Have we gone insane? It's a strong possibility that in 2020 we entered into a new dimension and haven't been able to escape since, because why on earth would anyone buy a single strawberry for $20? You've probably heard of Erewhon, the most expensive grocery store in Los Angeles.
This is the most expensive grocery store in the country, and we're gonna go check it out because I'm in disbelief.
Erewhon is the craziest thing to me, and it's so strange how successful it is.
The internet is filled with viral videos of people slurping smoothies and dropping hundreds of dollars on small grocery hauls. And it begs the question, is Erewhon worth it? Or are we a bunch of silly little fools? And how much money are you really willing to spend to be the most organic, raw, and mineralized version of yourself?
How much for this honey?
$200.
Great.
And how much is this cereal?
$419.
Great, I'm gonna take 2. I make healthy choices.
Now, I know this is my second grocery store related video in a row. I promise you, this is not turning into a grocery store channel. But the fact that both communist state-run grocery stores and places like Erewhon could coexist in the same country by this time next year is hilarious to me. We truly are a country of extremes. And what's even funnier is that the Venn diagram of shoppers at Erewhon and voters for said communist grocery stores could almost be a circle if they all lived in the same city. But I digress. Today we are going to dive into Erewhon and we'll ask ourselves, is this the consumerism final boss? What are people really gaining from spending so much money on something so impermanent? And of course, is this, like the return of Kesha, a recession indicator? We'll get into all of that and more on this week of Indoctrination. Welcome to the channel, or welcome back. My name is Maggie, and I talk about the intersection of culture and economics. And this week, I am so excited to talk about Erewhon. It says something about America that in 2025, this store is becoming so popular in spite of financial hardships. We are a nation obsessed with luxury and wealth signifiers. And what signifies wealth more than the ability to consume it quickly? But like the man who wakes up with a hangover after a night of excessive libations, we too have spending hangovers. And in that pit of shame and credit card debt, many young Americans find themselves looking for someone or something to blame. It's capitalism's fault. It's Erewhon's fault for tricking us with their celebrity smoothie collabs and promises of perfect health. The truth is, Erewhon, like other companies, is in the business of giving you what you want in exchange for what they want. They want money, don't we all? And you want many things, and most of them are intangible. Erewhon is providing a psychological experience for its shoppers.
Number one is called emotional consumption, which is this idea that we don't buy something for what it does, we buy something for how it makes us feel.
Every purchase is like a little gift to yourself, a kiss on the kepi, especially if your income bracket leaves you out of traditional luxury experiences. A day at Erewhon is a treat yourself day.
Clothes.
Treat yourself.
Fragrances.
Treat yourself.
Massages.
Treat yourself.
Mimosas.
Treat yourself.
Fine leather goods.
Treat yourself.
And for many people, spending is kind of the point. So is the proximity to celebrities and the ability to launch your influencing career simply by reviewing a smoothie. It was genius for Erewhon to partner up with Hailey Bieber, Sabrina Carpenter, and more recently Travis Scott to create unique beveraginos using pricey specialty ingredients you can buy in the store. The experience of drinking the $20 Hailey Bieber strawberry glazed skin smoothie is supposed to give you the feeling of acting out her life, that you are worthy enough to drink the same smoothie as a very wealthy person. And who knows, maybe you will get the same smooth, glowing skin.
This is my Hailey Bieber smoothie. I have one every single day. I would say it's probably 90% of the reason why my skin looks the way it does.
You know, I know the comments are gonna be screaming, Maggie, it's not that deep. But it is, in fact, that deep. Erewhon smoothies are priced way above market rate, and for that amount of money, there has to be a special ingredient. And no, it's not the collagen powder. It's the psychological enjoyment you get in having a trendy smoothie that gives you proximity to a beautiful, wealthy, famous person, and your willingness to spend the money justifies the price. This is subjective value.
We got Erewhon smoothies and we're gonna try them out and tell you what we think.
We spent over $200 on these smoothies and we are going to try them out.
Even if you made it at home with the same ingredients like YouTuber Rosanna Pisano, you're not getting the same experience. It may be significantly less expensive to make yourself, but it's not as luxurious, and we're willing to forgo other uses of that extra $10 you could save to feel like a smoothie queen. But why chase that feeling during a time when every $10 counts? What I find so interesting about Erewhon is how it relates to our food crisis. Since 2020 and the disruption of supply chains and our government's out-of-control inflationary spending, food prices have been soaring. The dollar menu is no longer a dollar, and neither is the Dollar Tree. And in 2023, 18 million US households reported not having enough resources to feed the family, which amounted to over 47 million Americans living with food insecurity, a number which grew significantly from the year before. Meanwhile, Erewhon's popularity started soaring. While we don't have the official financials from Erewhon, we do have Google Trends, which show a significant jump in people searching for Erewhon online from 2022 onward. So while Erewhon has been around since the 60s, its popularity has risen in tandem with our anxieties about food. So what gives? I have a few theories. It's no surprise that in a political environment where food became one of the hot-button electoral issues, that organic and health-forward food companies would grow. Erewhon has met a market desire for holistic remedies and supplements, ethically sourced meat, and raw milk. And it's amazing that consumers looking for safe options have found them and that providers are being rewarded for prioritizing clean products. But I don't think Erewhon's popularity is wholly due to this health awakening. Much of the hype has come from TikTok and the ability for products like Erewhon Sea Moss Gel to go viral. Consuming these products is an achievable status symbol even for people living paycheck to paycheck. And in times of crisis, we often cling onto small luxuries as a way to get through financial hardship. This was cheekily dubbed the lipstick index by Leonard Lauder of Estee Lauder, who claimed that women buy more lipstick in economic downturns. Now, there's some disagreement about the legitimacy of the lipstick index, but the underlying psychological phenomenon tracks. Low-stakes luxury spending can ease the emotional pain of being locked out from bigger purchases like cars and homes, and it isn't limited to makeup products. Food, I think, can be an even more powerful way to soothe our anxieties about the future. Food may be impermanent and it may not hold value, but we place a lot of value in it. Our ancestors oriented their entire lives around it. They tracked and hunted wild animals, took risks, and many of them died from starvation. So it makes sense that in a time where food is already becoming expensive, we throne it as the symbol of abundance and assurance that we'll be okay. The dopamine hit from buying a $20 strawberry probably goes pretty hard.
This strawberry is $20. I couldn't help myself and had to try the viral $20 strawberry from Erewhon.
Japanese strawberries. How much are these? $20?
I think they're $20 each, but more than that, they're impossible to get. We had a producer go to that market and wait for 3 hours for these beautiful little, they're like our own Oscars. Shall we, my friends?
I think so. We're gonna
cheers.
Andrea Hernandez said to Hannah Jackson at The Cut, maybe you can't afford to have a house because of the housing crisis and inflation and everything is so expensive, but you have Erewhon. Another woman reported to The Cut that she was barely scraping by working 3 jobs, but could not quit her weekly Erewhon run. As an aside, one of those jobs was as a hummus content creator. If that ain't the most LA job I've ever heard of, goodness. But Erewhon is not the problem here. It's the unexamined spending. I've made a lot of videos about student loan debt, housing unaffordability, and the many ways Americans feel disaffected from the dream we were sold growing up. But I run into a conflict when reporting on the cost of living crisis, and that is our spending habits. I say our to include myself. I'm not immune from the seduction of a sale or how the aromas of a coffee shop pull me in and force me to buy $8 lattes. But every cent spent is a cent not saved to advance my goals. Gluttony is a sin not discussed regularly, but oddly enough, I think it's the one we struggle with the most. And regardless of whether you're religious or not, I think we can all agree that gluttony and overindulgence in self-soothing mechanisms like shopping and eating are leading us to live worse lives. Companies like Erewhon, who sell the delight of self-care and health, are wonderful. But let us not delude ourselves about the self-sabotage that is buying things we can't afford to momentarily feel better. If I was to think of any other product that truly exemplified the small luxury, it would be the Stanley Cup. Women across the United States were filling out cabinets with these things, and they cost $50 for a water bottle. I mean, who would do such a thing? And the Stanley craze happened among the suburban moms of America, truly our country's strongest soldiers. They even got into fights over these limited edition water bottles. Clearly, products hold psychological influence over us and mean more than just their utilitarian functions. And that's okay. I don't mean for this video to shame anyone or any company, but to call attention to underlying phenomena that cause us to spend money even when it's not in our best interest. Young Americans have become accustomed to higher levels of luxury than previous generations. To a degree, we believe we deserve a life of Erewhon smoothies and daily treats, and the pressure to keep up with others on social media isn't helping. You have everything you want and nothing you need, but giving up everything you want is a sacrifice most people don't want to make, especially not when you could be living la vida loca and hoping it all works out. But I think shopping fatigue is beginning to set in for my consumerist generation. Anti-hauls and no-buy months at the beginning of this year showed that financial self-control is becoming a priority for people, and I bet trends like this will continue. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you've been to Erewhon before. What did you think? Did it live up to the hype? Let's chat in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and stick around for another video next week. Ciao!